and welcome back to Wicked Ones Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we've got a reading for you about an argument that has happened. It may have been something that kind of built up over time, but I do feel like there was some situation in particular that involved drinking or people maybe being a little bit extra riled up. A little bit of a scene, right? In a bar or maybe even at a house party, because we definitely have that going on here. But there's a falling out or an argument amongst friends. And I feel like a lot of people are trying to get at the truth, what really happened, who said what, who did what. And I don't know if you can see the little lightning bolts, but I feel like there's multiple opinions and there isn't a consensus yet as far as what really happened. But someone's nervous because the truth might actually come out and they're hoping that it doesn't. So they're trying to hide something. Let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time, or a lot. I hope you're having a good day. If you would like a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedonestarot@gmail.com. It's below in the description box for you in case I said that too fast. And right below that, you can find additional information on the 3 different tiers I have for my memberships if you're looking for additional content. So we're going to start with the Golden Art Nouveau and see what else we've got about this argument. That makes sense. 3 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands. So the 3 of Pentacles is an interesting card because it can make clear that we're talking about a group of people, right? And beyond that, this particular 3 of Pentacles, I don't know if it is the reason why I chose this deck, but it certainly seems like it could be because this 3 of Pentacles is a little unusual. It looks like 2 people have walked up on this person and caught them doing something because there's a look of surprise. I don't know how well you can see their faces. And then we've got the Wounded Warrior. This is somebody who is nervous or feeling like they have to guard something. And I feel like it's a secret. But if they are getting called out, if there's people that are, whispering, then maybe it's becoming more difficult to control the narrative. So this truth is perhaps unavoidable. Lovers in the reverse. Page of Wands, Judgment, and the Queen of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, I think we have a denial or someone who's saying, I didn't do that, but they did do that. Did I do that? So notice the Page of Wands. This is a card about communication, right? This is somebody who is blocking what's behind them. They're communicating one thing and trying to pretend that whatever is behind them didn't actually happen. But this is a choice that they made, or this is something that they did do that they don't want people to know about. It's a situation where they would have been expected to make a different decision. And I do feel like the decision is, why didn't you say something? Why didn't you report someone? Why didn't you defend your spouse or your friend? Because with the Queen of Cups in the reverse, this is a failure as a friend, someone who was like not looking out, right? Hi, Heather. How are you doing? Aw, you're so kind. Thank you. Hello, Laura. All right. So, High Priestess in the reverse. Someone who's shady, doesn't want people to know what's really going on. And Justice. The truth is going to come out. They cannot stop this. So I feel like we've got a person that is wanting to not get dragged into a situation, doesn't want to talk about it because they could have done something to make things better. Sometimes crowd mentality is the worst. Well, maybe it always is. But this kind of feeling to me like someone who wishes they'd acted differently when someone around them who was a bad influence did something, or when they kind of fell into some sort of temptation. We have another 6 in the reverse, clarifying the Lovers, which is number 6, and it's in the reverse. So 6 of Swords being in the reverse indicates something that is not good. And I feel like this is the fear or anxiety that this 9 of Wands, the wounded warrior, is feeling. I've done my best to keep things on the up and up, or I've done my best to like protect what I have or be good. But there's this thing from my past, and now it's threatening this 10 of Cups. I've had this, ability to build a secure home or happiness. Maybe I have a family. They're nervous that the secret is going to come out and make everything tumble down. And it might. The truth is coming out, and we've got the Chariot, which to me is coming through as law enforcement. This person did something illegal. They didn't want to talk about it. They didn't want anybody to figure it out. And now there's clarity. There's evidence or receipts, and the attempts to try to say everything's fine, nothing to see here, it's not going to work. Let's see. This is the Golden Lenormand. Hello, Pharaoh. How's it going? I think you're right, Laura. What else do we have? Number 21, the Mountain. And number 4, the House. Okay, this is strange, so bear with me. But what I just saw in my mind is my own imagination as I was reading Ayn Rand, and I just talked about it the other day too. Oh God, what is it called? Now I can't remember the name of the book. I'm sorry. It's like 1,200 pages long. Somebody's got to know what I'm talking about. But one of the taglines is, "Who is John Galt?" And it represents the mystery all throughout the book and is tied to people who start disappearing. And I'm trying not to like give anything away because it is really worth a read if you enjoy reading. It is elegant. I'm not going to say I agree with everything in that book, but there is a destination that they end up discovering that is like hidden in the clouds. And you end up finding out a lot of people have gone there. I feel like this is a hideout. I feel like this is somebody who has a hidden spot, place where no one can really find out what I'm up to, where I'm going. That's what this 10 of Cups is. And do they have family there? Maybe. Do they throw parties there? Maybe. This could be like a hidden apartment in like the city that they didn't tell their spouse about. This could be a cabin that they inherited, and they only take like their besties there, right? There's something here about like a hideaway, a place where people don't necessarily get easily, and that this person has hidden things or perhaps made a not so great decision. So we've got number 34 and number 6. The good news card with the fish and clouds, ambiguity. So whatever this person had been trying to hide, that's so weird because I saw the clouds and the mountain. Whatever they've been trying to hide, and maybe a different location has helped them to do exactly that. There's good news because of the justice that is supposed to take place. Somebody happens to find this, or somebody discovers that maybe this would be where they need to look for like evidence, or I don't know, man. This is not the secure place that they thought it was anymore. So it could even be raided by the cops. Now let's get some more tarot. I saw the Hocus Pocus deck in my mind, so we'll go with that one. Hello, Nick. How are you doing? Hello, James. How's your day? What's going on, Lemonade? Hello, Chababan? I hope I said that right. You let me know if I did. What else do we have? Six of Candles or the Six of Wands in the reverse. Nine of Pumpkins or Nine of Pentacles and Strength. It's like somebody accidentally left the door open. Somebody didn't set the security code. Somebody didn't close the garage door. There's a failure to keep things secret, or, you know, like the network security that you have is down. There's something here where all of a sudden this like hideout or this, you can't see it's there. Nobody knows it's there. All of a sudden now it's like visible. All of a sudden now people have access. But there's been an issue in terms of money. So there could be people who decided I shouldn't say anything, or I'm not going to say anything because money. Notice there's no people. This is normally represented by a woman who is dressed very nicely. I think the word would be opulently. And then she has a hawk that represents her intuition. Instead, what we have are the pumpkins, which is a very ghoulish representation of a pentacle. So it feels to me like, quite honestly, we have somebody who, or maybe even multiple people who are like, what do I have to do for money? You tell me and I'll do it. But there was some sort of access that was impossible for people to gain that is now, like now they have it. And I feel like it could be the cops. It's true. We have the King of Pumpkins or the King of Pentacles in the reverse, the King of Lightning or the King of Swords in the reverse, and the World. Ooh, okay. So this secret, why do I keep getting these? I guess I have signed up to do more like cold case because I keep getting more around like crimes and things that have gone unsolved. I feel like the truth is coming out about a night where people were drinking or partying and things were done that should not have been done. And somebody didn't call the cops or didn't help somebody because they felt like it was the right thing for them to do is to just shut up. But now there's like evidence that's being found. Somebody's got access to a location, a place that's like a hideaway. People don't notice it, or people don't know that it's there or that it belongs to this person. So we've got this King of Pumpkins or King of Pentacles in the reverse. And this, again, not a person, it's a building. This is a not good place. You ever walk past a house or a building and you're just like, couldn't pay me enough to go in that building? Gross. Bad energy. There's bad energy in this place. And I'm sorry, but I do feel like this is potentially about somebody who passed away. So I think we've got maybe an accident that happened while people were partying and an attempt to try to cover that up because they didn't want to call the cops, or more like foul play during one of those type of events. Hello, Carrie. How are you doing? Hello, Illuminati. What's going on? So we've got the Nine of Lightning, which is the Nine of Swords, anxiety, freaking out, nightmares. I'm definitely getting nightmares. Seeing this thing happen over and over again in a nightmare. Dreaming about the actual place. Again, with the Three of Cups in the reverse, just like at the beginning. So again, I feel like this is a party that got out of hand. Things being passed around that maybe you didn't know what it was or what's been added to it. And the Tower, instead of it being a actual tower that's been, damaged by lightning or some, ravages of time, we have a building that is intact with a big moon behind it, indicative of a secret. So again, a secret place, a secret apartment, a place they didn't want people to know was theirs. The Wheel of Fortune, the Two of Pentacles or Two of Pumpkins in the reverse, and Judgment. On the Judgment card, it says Old Burial Hill. So I'm pretty convinced we have two people that passed away. They didn't necessarily have to at the same time. But I feel this is a cold case with two people who met their end at this property that is like a little secret spot, right? And with the Wheel of Fortune, I think there's somebody who happens upon it or happens to find it, happens to connect this person to this property. And now whatever they've lied about for so long, whatever they've tried to make seem not my problem, I didn't do that, I'm not connected. Now it's quite obvious that they are completely connected to this. So they can't lie anymore. Leaves them in an interesting / precarious spot. This is the Black Tarot. Did you? Oh, that would be spooky. I'm glad you don't anymore. What else? Three of Cups in the reverse again. So I pulled two cards from the Pause Tarot. Only two cards out of 78, and I pulled that card. And then I pulled it from the Hocus Pocus card. Deck. I don't think I got it from the Golden Art Nouveau, but now it's the first card coming out. So again, there was a party. It was a celebration of some sort, right? With the fish, this is saying people were like, oh, I'm lucky to be involved, or this person's done something amazing. There's like a sense of, what I'm seeing in my mind is that scene from Romeo and Juliet with Claire Danes and Leo DiCaprio, and like where they first see each other, right? Like definitely an opulent scene, big party, ridiculous costumes. Queen of Spears or the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, there's somebody rich who threw a party. And the Hierophant. So there's somebody who forgot to do something or made a mistake who normally follows the rules very closely. And this is why there's somebody who's gotten access. They've found information or they've been able to get into this actual place, spooky place. I just want to make sure you can see how awesome that art is. Do you see like the face right here? I love, this is the Black Tarot. It's beautiful, definitely dark, which is part of why I chose it. We've got somebody at the top of the chain. Okay. So the problem or, best friend or I don't know, the person who orders the pizza for the parties, somebody left the door open. Somebody left a bill on the table that gave away the address. Something detail and like evidence-based or worthy was left. And now we have all of this information that was supposedly hidden. Now it's not hidden anymore. It's like if you had, proudly never had a public account on Instagram and then accidentally hit it for public, and the next day realized everybody's looking at your stuff. Like, this is like waking up and realizing somebody has read your journal. So we have the Five of Wands and another Three of Pentacles or Three of Spheres, and the Lovers in the reverse again. Okay, this does feel to me like the two people who passed away knew each other. And there was an argument, but cooperation with making sure this was never figured out. Very, I know what you did last summer, right? Fear of jail, fear of consequences makes me get kind of pressured into making a decision that maybe I otherwise wouldn't have made, but it's about two people who passed away. Another Six in the reverse, the Six of Swords in the reverse again, which is what clarified the Lovers in the reverse up there. So these two are definitely connected. And then we've got the Magician. I will let people know what I want them to know, but I'm not going to give them any details that might explain what really happened. So we have somebody who's holding back information and trying to make it seem like they were being a good Samaritan, or nothing bad happened, or, they left the party and they were fine and we never saw them again. And I think for a long time, this person and whoever was working with them or whoever covered this up, they felt like they had managed to get away with it, or things were not going to be problematic after all. There could be 4 people involved. But they didn't all agree, much like I know what you did last summer, right? Some people have no conscience, and some people really bothers them. So like I said, there have been nightmares, there's been anxiety, there's been, why did I do that? What should I say? Hello, Elise, how are you doing? Hello, Steven. What's going on? And the Empress. I feel like it gets really heavy for somebody to keep this a secret because of a child. Someone else's child or their own child, inspiring them to feel like they need to be more honest, or making them doubt certain things. Or it could even be as simple as somebody who was trying to protect this secret and wasn't ready for it to come out, is distracted by a young child or their responsibilities as a parent. And that's why we have this like access being granted where it was normally denied to people. This is The Truth Is. Hey, Key Controller, what's going on? It's another reference to somebody that may have had a child or a child itself. And resentment, hurt and bitterness over unfair treatment. Time apart will be beneficial to the connection and money problems. So this feels to me like we have somebody that was struggling financially, not very happy in a relationship, or dealing with perhaps the co-parent situation, wanting a little bit of time to forget their problems, perhaps going to a party. And I feel like it's because there's a child that wants to figure out what happened. Or it could be because a child is getting kind of too close to what's going on here. But it's like there's this precocious curiosity, you know, that exploring kind of mood that you get into as a child. I was lucky enough to have this like kind of strange patch of land by my house when I was growing up as a little girl, and we could go there and like build forts in the trees. It was like in between the golf course and the neighborhood, and like kind of unclaimed and wild. And I think very lucky to have grown up in a situation like that. But it feels like that kind of energy where I remember just like kind of, you know, exploring, seeing what was in the trees, what kind of animals were out there. And then somebody finds like this property. So it could be like a parent and their child finds this hidden property. But for others of you, we could have a parent who was one of the deceased. Let's get a little bit more from the situations deck. But remember, we had that Nine of Pentacles early on. There was something here to do with money that motivated someone to go to this party or hang out with this group of people. And this house that is hidden, or this hideaway, somehow we have a surprise visitor, someone that ends up kind of cracking this case or making things a little bit easier to, now we have that mallet, to clear up. There might be records in this hidden home that are surprising. Okay, I feel like this is somebody who's investigating the death of their own parent or somebody that they knew. And they won't give up. And they may hear that there's this property, or may be actually the ones that find this hidden property. But it's because of a love that somebody has for another person. They don't give up on like the internet sleuth idea, or like, I will figure out this truth on my own. So it's because of that driving determination that this truth does finally come out. This is the Pulp Tarot. What else do we have? Knight of Wands and another Three of Cups, this time in the upright. And the World. Yeah, I feel like somebody was traveling. They were not where they normally, like, it's not like they were, you know, a mile away or 5 miles away from where they normally spend their time. I feel like they were out of town. There was some sort of trip, little drive, let's go do something different, or even a little, you know, weekend getaway. But during some sort of party at this strange place that somebody likes to hide, that's where there were issues for two people, at least. Five of Pentacles in the reverse, Five of Wands. We just had that. The Five of Wands is right here too. Oh. So we had the Five of Cups clarifying the Five of Wands. And now we have the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. And then we had a bunch of sixes together. 55, 66. So those numbers could be important. But there is an argument that comes back. And I feel like it's about what happened with this secret. Yep. Remember what happened all that time ago? We thought we were doing the right thing. Turns out that person's now like, I'm not going to just repeat the plot of I Know What You Did Last Summer, but there's a concern. Ooh, this would align with like Yellow Jackets too. Tower in the reverse. Yeah, I think there's somebody here who has a change of heart. They may give in and tell the truth once this property is discovered, or once, you know, somebody's able to actually search that cabin or whatever it is. Six of Cups. Seven of Cups. And the Chariot in the reverse. 2 sevens, because the Chariot is number 7. Okay, this is interesting. This is not for all of you by a long shot, but for some of you, there was twins. One person was unalived, and the twin who survived has been looking. But the illusion is wearing off. The ability to keep this secret is dissipating. There's a change here that indicates justice is going to be served, even though it has been a long time. Chariot in the reverse. Somebody was maybe able to prevent the cops from doing a decent investigation, hid something, or never had this property be discovered. There's something here about, for a long time, being able to get away without any kind of serious consequences for this. But now they're feeling like things are starting to get really serious. Could be because of DNA. Let's get a few from, this is What's the News? Hey Voyager, how are you doing? Hello Irish Fairy, how's it going? So there's machismo involved in this situation. An unwillingness to give in or compromise. We have heart-to-heart conversation, rebound, and brick wall. Yeah, there's a difference of opinion here. An unwillingness to do the right thing because of self-preservation, and maybe making sure that everybody else agrees when they don't really. Because I feel like there's somebody here who is like, maybe we should, you know, do the right thing. We've got a rebound, unpredictable intentions. Guarded, brick wall. I feel like this is, for many of you, a literal brick wall. There is something that protects this property or wherever this is. But because of somebody playing basketball, because of something, we have people discovering this property that otherwise would not have. It's interesting that it's a basketball on this card, because when I was talking about somebody discovering this property, the Two of Pentacles was represented by pumpkins. Very similar. I think accidentally discovering this property might reopen the case, or somebody who has a change of heart because they feel guilty. And it could be that those two things coincide. Time, delay, procrastination, too busy. It's been a long time since this happened. And I do feel like somebody involved here is generally seen as a person of high honor. But that's going to change because this truth was supposed to come out at some point. They've delayed it, or it's, you know, been a while, but now there's more and more information coming out, and it's clear that this person was involved because of their ties to the individuals. All right. This is the Meme Cat Major Arcana. What else do we have? James, come on. You got better standards than that, don't you? So we've got the Devil in the reverse. And the Empress in the reverse. There is somebody here who is no longer feeling like they owe any loyalty to somebody who has been overbearing and manipulative, someone who likes to show two different faces. I can be really kind, I can be really sweet, I can make things easier for you, I can give you a hug on a difficult day, but I could also make your life real miserable if you don't do what I want you to do. So this is a controlling energy that no longer has control. That must be rough for them. Oh, because your secret's coming out. Yeah. Everything is changing for this person who has gotten quite accustomed to being seen a certain way or being respected, maybe being wealthy. But this property, it's exposing whatever they tried to hide. And I do feel like there's been 2 people that passed away. Rest in peace to them. That secret that they were able to hide for a little while or several years, it's not going to be hidden any longer. So I do think that there are consequences for more than one person. This is the Zodiac fortune telling cards. What else do we have? It is, isn't it? Carry through your intentions and you will be happy. I feel like this is for the person who's been investigating. Something will happen that will change the entire atmosphere for the best. A change in the life of a true friend. Somebody being invested in figuring out what's going on here completely changes the life of somebody for the better. It removes a dark cloud or enables them to feel like that burden has been lifted off of them. So for many of you, this is about someone finally getting closure or peace, knowing what happened to their loved one. You have long been loved by one whom you least suspect. I feel like that's family love. You need self-confidence, otherwise you will lose. So just remind yourself, you're awesome. You can rewind that and play it again if you want. You're awesome. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. All right. So we've got justice coming to this situation. I don't normally do this. I usually use the Dark Goddess Oracle at the beginning of a reading, but I feel pulled to it. So let's see what comes out for this. This is one of the few oracle cards or decks that I like to reference the book. So there's some really good stuff in the book. So, all right. Well, the letter D could be important because we have deliverance and deception from the Dark Goddess Oracle. But we've got Oya and Medea. I hope I'm saying those names correctly. I believe I am. Let's see what we get for... I just opened right up to Oya. You got to be kidding me. Thank you, spirits. All right. What do we got? A house move further afield is likely. Weird. Going right in for that property. Let go of old patterns and behaviors. A job is coming to an end. A death changes your outlook. End an unhealthy relationship. A birth in the family is announced. Take a last-minute holiday to somewhere unfamiliar. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Now, these pieces of advice, not all of them will resonate for you. Maybe they're meant for someone else involved in this reading, but it's interesting how many different things that touched on that we already found in the reading. This is the card that also has the word deliverance on it. So it makes sense that we're talking about a situation that could be transformative. Um, Turbulent, unsettling times reach a climax, heralding the end of something major in your life that you can no longer avoid. This, I don't know if this is necessarily saying something's ending in your life. I feel like whoever has lied about this, whoever has this secret, they can't really hide from that secret any longer. And I do feel like that house moving in like further afield is likely. It's like somebody was trying to make this more difficult to find, and that may have been the problem that started everything. Okay, so we've got Medea. Oops, right there. What? Oh, yeah, okay. I thought it was an MA at the beginning, you guys. My bad. Okay. You are having the wool pulled over your eyes. Honesty will be the best policy when applying for a new job. Speak up even if you think you are alone, and others will support you. I feel like that's the big one. Be thorough with paperwork. Sign nothing until you are absolutely sure. You know what's funny is that particular line, they forgot the period. It's just sign nothing until you're absolutely sure is an unfinished thought. So that's interesting. So I do feel like there's paperwork or maybe even like an NDA. There's difficulty because there are multiple people involved. So this liar, what am I calling you? Is it the King of Swords? They're struggling because they can't control multiple people. Maybe they thought they could, but they really can't. You know what I mean? So pride goeth before the fall. And this looks like it might be a big ego and a big fall. All right. Healing to those that need it and condolences to those that passed. Always happy to hear when cold cases are solved. Hello, upper echelon. How are you doing? I'm going to leave it there. I love you all. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes, and I'll see you in the next reading. Toodles.